So welcome to newspaper analysis session for July 15th. So like I have promised, I am trying to add PYQs as well. Today when we discuss about the inflation, I will also show you what kind of PYQs that can be asked from this topic. So whenever we are trying to do any particular topic, we are also trying to revise that particular content with the help of questions that are being asked on the UPSC. So this will increase your confidence also. So just what you have to do is revise and be consistent with the class. So topics that we are going to cover today: inflation. So inflation has been slowed down. So we have seen low levels of inflation. One of the primary reason is good monsoons as well as the base effect. So we will also see what does this base effect means. So we'll try to understand that thing. And then Operation Shiva related to the Amarnath Yatra. So we need to see what is this Amarnath Yatra and what is this Operation Shiva. Direct prelims question. This is related to what? They'll ask these kind of questions. So then flue gas desulfurization. Yesterday we have seen this thing. We will try to see little bit more than that. Question may ask directly what would be the impacts with this recent initiative. This would be one type of question, or they may target the sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, so we need to see as a pollutant what would be its threat. Any kind of global control measures are there. Is India implementing them? Is India a signatory of that thing? So when we study this thing, so we are covering in a holistic manner, not just the article. We are going beyond the article. So this is a kind of current affair plus. So we are trying to cover related to those aspects as well. So what kind of PYQs has been asked on the sulfur dioxide, I will show you. So you will understand, you will get the clarity. And then apart from this, some of the articles that have been given in the editorial. So why there is less presence of women. So we have been discussing so many things related to the women. Again, same thing. Two things have been asked, provided here: dowry related deaths and also less women presence in the jobs. Despite having the proper education, there is less presence of the women in the higher level jobs, STEM, science and technology related courses and all. So we'll see about those things, and we'll also see about the India and Europe relationship. So first thing, inflation continues to cool as food prices, crude oil rates dip. So as the Middle East tensions has been slowed down, so crude oil prices are coming down, and we also had a good monsoon season, and so we had a good food production. So because of this, CPI is coming down. So now they are not going to ask you about this thing. They will ask you concept related questions. So here, why this is WPI and CPI. So basically, these are the two ways through which we can calculate the inflation. See, I need inflation, like say, for suppose I am calculating inflation for the UPSC aspirants. If I am calculating inflation for the UPSC aspirants, manufacturing related index, which the WPI primarily focuses on, it might not be that helpful for you. So if I have to conduct the inflation that is primarily affecting the UPSC aspirants, I need to check. So what are the hostel prices? What is the food in the Ashok Nagar? Coaching fees, institution fees, and all. These are the things that actually matter to you. So depending upon whom I am trying to check, so accordingly I will use the different baskets. So that's why we have the WPI basket as well as the CPI basket. WPI is a wholesale price index at the manufacturing, at the wholesale level. CPI is what when you purchase at the retail level. Finally, what you are purchasing generally. So what kind of items we generally purchase? Primarily with the food items and some of the service related items. So these are the one predominant in the CPI. And certain other items which are primarily dominant is the manufacturing related items under the WPI. So we need to have that kind of difference very clear. According to the requirement, we will check which index is better. So RBI uses the which index, CPI or WPI? You are in the 2011. Okay, so now RBI has moved towards the CPI. Okay, it's been so long, I think from 2016 onwards, they have shifted to the CPI. CPI, what is the target they have given? What is the inflation target of the RBI? 4 plus or minus 2. Okay, so this is the target given to the RBI. So they should make sure that inflation is present in this thing. If they have not made sure that, or if the inflation is anything beyond these things, it's rising above the 6% or falling below the 2%, RBI has to give the explanation why you are not able to control the inflation. So primary approach of the RBI is price stability, ensuring the price stability. For this, they will change the rates, repo rates we have discussed. We have discussed CRR, SLR, okay, marginal standing facility, various tools, liquidity adjustment facility, that are there with the RBI. We have seen this thing. Some other day, again, we will see that thing. But you need to revise. Liquidity adjustment facility, we have already discussed. The same liquidity adjustment tools has to be revised by you. Okay. Base effect is also one of the reasons. We will see what is the base effect now and what kind of questions are being asked. So we have the CPI and WPI. See here, CPI measures changes in the retail prices. Retail. Here the keyword is the retail prices of the fixed basket of goods as well as the services. Okay, consumed by the households. You got the clarity? You and me. Like we are the general, what kind of consumption we have, general whatever the soaps, medicines, or whatever the food items that we generally purchase, fruits, vegetables, cereals, all those things comes under the CPI. What is the households carrying? Fuel, all those things. Base year is 2012, calculated by the NSO. By heart it. Okay, no doubts should be there here. So what is the CPI? Base year, okay, reference year, who is calculating it, and RBI uses the CPI. Clear? Then we have the WPI. We have to calculate what is the price rise. For suppose you are saying the prices are high. So I'll ask you on what basis you are saying prices are high. So you will say, I have one base year, sir. If I see from 2012 onwards, now if I see, check the year. So now the prices have been raised 100%. So you should have some kind of reference to say the prices are increasing or decreasing. So 2012 is considered as a kind of base year. So they will check, they will take any year which is very stable, which can be utilized for the calculation purposes. They will use a base year. Even for the GDP, we use a base year. A reference needs to be there, whether to check whether there is increase or decrease. So even for the GDP, they are thinking to change the base year from 2012 to 2021 or 2 something they are planning. Okay, so the discussions are going on. Differences between the WPI and CPI. Retail prices, by heart it today itself. Okay, difference between WPI and CPI. Retail prices for the consumers. Wholesale prices for the producers or the traders. Basically at the wholesale level, these are the people generally from whoever the retailers, they will generally go to this wholesale facilities and they will produce it. They will bring it here, right? So at the wholesale level. Here primary articles, fuel, manufactured products. See here, this is consuming 65% manufactured items. So it is not much relevant for us. See here, you have said RBI taking the WPI. So if they take the WPI, does it matter for us? Which has a primarily manufactured item 65%, it is not helpful for us, right? So for us, what is more main matter is food items. So RBI, it makes sense for the RBI to use this basket. Now is this clear? No confusion again, right? No mistake from this sector. Okay, higher on the food and services, measures the cost of living, RBI's inflation target. Okay, targets input cost for the business 2012. Now only thing here is what you have to remember. Here Ministry of Commerce, it is released by the Ministry of Commerce. Here it is by the NSO. Clear? No more confusion on the between the WPI and CPI, right? So they are also thinking to bring producer price index also. At the producer level, they want to calculate the price, even in between whatever the transportation costs are there. So I have produced it. I have taken to the wholesale level. Okay, some in between level. From there, some other people, traders will collect it and sell it to the retail level. So in between also there is transportation cost, taxation cost, all those things are there. So government even want to neglect that thing. So they are thinking to introduce a producer price index as well, going beyond these things. But still it has not yet been implemented. So you just need to have the clarity. Okay, that is a different index. So now what is the base effect? See, base effect refers to distortion. So how do I calculate the inflation is using the reference of year of the previous year. So in previous year also you will calculate some kind of inflation. So you will use a index. See here I have given the example also here. So basic formula for the inflation is you will use the index to calculate the overall the previous year index as well as the this year index and how the price has changed. So whenever you have to calculate that index of that item, so this is the way you use. See here, index is equal to, first we have to calculate the index. Okay, so index period price by the base price. So base price, take this example. 2012, the rice is rupees 50 per kg. This is in the 2012. Now last year, in the 2024, the rice price is rupees 60 per kg. Now this is the formula to arrive at the index value. 60 by base year into the 100. So the index is 120. This is for the last year. Now what is the price for this year? In the 2025, rice price is 65 per kg. Now again use the same index. I arrive at the same index value. 65 by base value 50 and then into 100. So you are getting 130. Now you have to check the price change from this index to this index. How do you calculate the price change? Difference by 120, whichever the previous year is there, into 100. This is the CSAT. Okay, what is the percentage level change from 120 to 130? Okay, this is how we calculate the inflation. I have tried to give you the formula. First, so here we are using three variables: base year 2012 one, last year index, and this year's index. Okay, for how do you arrive at this index value? So whatever the price is there currently and the base value is there, so divide both of them. Okay, 60 by 50 into 100, then you will get the index value. Previous year, we need previous year index as well as this year index. For suppose the previous year index inflation is very high and index is 129, assume that. Then even this year, if it is 130, so because of the base level, last year it is very high. So we may see the rise of prices this year is very low because of the last year's effect. That is called the base effect. Am I clear with this? Yes. Everyone clear with this? Simple concepts. Okay, that's what, see, economy people get unnecessarily scared. Okay, so they are very, very simple. So inflation means price rise we are calculating in the basket of the certain goods as well as the services. So WPA and the CPA. So there will be a kind of base year. See here, there will be a base year which is nothing but the 2012. I have used it as a base year. Now, okay, let's say this is the base year's price of the rice of 1 kg is 15, and 2024 the base year is 60 rupees, and 2025 the base year is, let's assume that it is a 70 rupees per kg. So now I need what is the formula for the inflation? Index value of previous year minus index value of this year by previous year into 100. Into 100. Okay, this is the formula of calculating the inflation. Right? Now, how do I get the index value? Now, to get the index value, so whatever the price of this year by base year into 100. This is the index value. Very simple. Simple school level max. So I will get the index value of this year, previous year using this formula. I will simply calculate here. I will get the inflation. So if the base level, this index value of the last year is very high. So because of the base effect, the prices might show, okay, there is not much slighting. There is no inflation this year because last year itself the prices were so high. This is called the base effect. Clear? So we are calculating the price rise. We'll keep the base year as a reference and last year also as a kind of index. Now, because of the base year effect also, there is a low level of inflation. This is what the article says. Now, see here. See here, this is the question. Okay, try to solve this. Okay. A rapid increase in the rate of inflation is sometimes attributed to the base effect. What is the effect? See here. It is the impact of drastic deficiency in supply due to the failure of the crops. Anything related? Irrelevant. It is the impact of the surge in the demand due to the rapid economic growth. So see, supply and the demand side are one of the two causes for the inflation. Supply side factors, demand side factors. It is the impact of the price levels of the previous years on the calculation of the inflation rate. None of the statements. Tell me the answer. C. Very easy. P by Q question. So I am again stressing. Some of the questions will be very, very easy. You will see, you will think UPSC asks these kind of basic questions, fundamental questions. Then when you know these things, then you will see prelims is easy. Very easy. Even mains is also easy. Some mistakes will happen. If you don't do those mistakes, you will get through. Repo rate is the interest charged by the bank. See, So yeah, index of the previous year. Okay, what is the gap? See, whatever the gap is there, so probably we need to see, okay, we will check the difference. It must be this year versus previous year. Okay, it must be this year minus the previous year. What is the sum? Yes, yes. So gap, okay, this year minus this previous year. Of course, the previous year will be less than this thing. Yeah, that should be true. Okay, so this year minus the previous year. So whatever the difference is there, that is the part. Okay, this one will be same. Okay, so this is the point. Repo rate means that is the interest charged by the RBI. Okay, so I have not got into that aspect. I have taken some aspects of the inflation. Now check the another question. See here, consider the following 2020 civil services prelims. The weightage of the food in the consumer prices is higher than WPI index. The WPI does not capture the changes in the prices of the services, which the CPI does. Reserve Bank of India has now adopted WPI as its key measures of the inflation to decide on the key policy rates. First, when you are solving these questions, eliminate the wrong options. Okay, so we will eliminate this easily. So two options are gone. They are gone. Right now. WPI does not capture the changes in the prices of the services which CPI does. True? That is true. Okay. Then weightage of the food in the consumer price index is higher than the. Easy question. It is there, but the value is less. It is there. Clear? Can you see the level of easy questions? Are you getting confidence? Okay. So this is what I am saying. Extra effort I am putting from my end. If you can put little bit extra effort from you also, definitely you will get the results. See here, what is the question they are given? 2022, they have said it is a difficult paper, right? You remember 2022, the people are saying that it is a difficult paper. See the bacha kind of question. See here. Okay, so resetting it, everything is getting difficult. Okay, yeah. So you understand now? It is not. It is very direct one. Who is the body that is taking care of the inflation? 2022 difficult year. Cutoff was very low. 22 also. 22 also. One of the difficult year. 22, 23. See the question. This question, RBI. Okay, if I was giving the exam, I would have thought again. Is it really UPSC is asking this question? Okay. So that question I would have got a doubt in that manner. So this way, so point here is again the same thing. Questions will be easy. Only thing is revision. But hanged or what? Okay. Now Operation Shiva. We have seen Pahalgam attacks. Okay. Especially they have targeted one particular religion. Now this Amarnath Yatra passes through same region, Pahalgam region. So to ensure safety and security of the pilgrims, whoever is visiting that particular center, so government has launched this Operation Shiva. And also this is a kind of visit for the higher altitude. Sometimes whenever you move in the higher altitude, the oxygen availability is lower. People will feel difficulty in breathing. So that's why they have launched all those things. Huge amount of military deployment as well as emergency services. Simple Operation Shiva. That's all we need to know. That's it. Nothing more here. So see here, troop deployment, advanced technology and the medical support they are talking about. And the use of, they are also, see here, can you see here, they are also using the drones here. Again, see the significance of the drones. Okay, both the military as well as the civilian operations, drones are helpful here. Okay, this is very important considering the previous attacks that we have seen during the like Pahalgam attacks. Okay, so in order to handle this thing, we are taking care of this event so that we don't see such kind of future related aspects. Next, so Amarnath Yatra. So basically, why this Amarnath Yatra? See here, this is how the image you will get. So because of the melting of the glaciers and all, so from the caves itself, the deposition of the glaciers will happen from the top, and finally it will take the image of this linga format. So people will go and they take the visit there. Okay, this is for the religious tourism point of view. Okay, so the people believe there is a God's presence there and all. Okay, so that is the point that you have to remember. Okay, so something related to Amarnath Yatra also I have tried to give here. Okay, there is an annual Hindu pilgrimage to the Amarnath cave shrine in Jammu and Kashmir where devotees worship a naturally formed ice shivling symbolizing Lord Shiva. It typically lasts only 30 to 45 days, especially during this time period. They will take this June to August when the ice formation is visible. Okay, so this is the part, and mythology and all, you can go through that thing, that aspect I have given briefly. See here, and again one more point that is useful for the GS4 here is, the cave is believed to be where Lord Shiva revealed the secrets of immortality to goddess Parvati, discovered by the Muslim shepherd in the 15th century. So this cave got discovered by the Muslim. So this is also a kind of symbolism for the unity and brotherhood. So Muslim shepherd has found out this thing. So those things, those differences and all, communal hatred and all. So if you see in the core essence, the people who follows the religious value in their core essence, and the core always say the same thing, always the brotherhood, humanity first, okay, fraternity, all these things comes first. When the people do not follow the core essence, when they follow the principles which are there in the periphery, okay, they'll try to bring this communal kind of feelings. So this shrine again is a kind of symbolism for the brotherhood and unity of the different communities that we can highlight here. So this is the point that you need to study here. I have tried to add the image here. Main route is the Pahalgam route. Okay, so that's the reason we are careful so that no such issue happens. So what kind of questions can come? What is the significance of the Amarnath cave? Okay, like this they can ask. This is the Jain pilgrimage, ancient Buddhist pilgrimage. Okay, natural ice lingam of the Lord Shiva and all. Operation Shiva is associated with what? Okay, like this they can ask different types of the questions. Okay, now Shubham Shukla is returning back. Axiom 4 mission. We have seen that Axiom 4 mission is a private mission. The person is taken to the International Space Station. Now the person has conducted various experiments there, staying there for 2-3 weeks, 17-18 days, and they have come back. Okay, 18 days. So what kind of 7 experiments he has conducted? Impact. Okay, so one thing, what kind of experiments are, how the microgravity will influence the this microalgae, and then they have also checked how the sprouting of the seeds happen in the space. So they are also trying to check this thing, second experiment, and how it impacts the human physiology. Okay, see here. Okay, they have also taken one animal. Okay, the tardigrades. I told you these tardigrades are the small marine animals. They can live in the extreme conditions. How they react and respond in the space, in the microgravity. So totally 7 experiments. Okay, how it affects our muscle regeneration, how the human interaction with the electronic displays, okay, in the microgravity, okay, and all. They have, these are the 7 experiments that we have seen. And see here, so how the cropping, how the impact of the microgravity on growth and yield parameters in the food crops. We have seen they have taken some of the pulses, some of the crops from here, and they have tried to cultivate it there. So how they have responded, and here they have given certain names here, seed names, Jyoti, Uma, okay, Kankamani, okay, Vellaini. So like this they have given. So these things recently in the news, UPSC will also ask these kind of questions. They'll give freedom fighters, astronauts and all. So we should be having some clarity. We need not by heart Jyoti, Uma and all. We don't have to by heart. Okay, these are the seeds. We should be aware. Once you see the options, you should be able to identify. This is something related to the seeds, different rice varieties that were conducted experiment during the your movement towards the International Space Station. That's all. And that is the point that you need to do here. So, he is returning back and all. That is the point that I have tried to discuss here. So, flue gas desulfurization, we have discussed what is the major essence. So, they are going to, what is this FGD plants? Which gas they are trying to target? Primarily sulfur, not ammonium. Okay, ammonium I have told you as a byproduct. Sulfur reacts with ammonium and releases a secondary pollutant. That's what we have discussed. They are targeting the sulfur dioxide. Okay, so yeah, what is this? Flue gas desulfurization. As the name suggests, it is for the sulfur. Primarily at this thermal power plants, so that the release of the sulfur dioxide gets reduced. So it got criticism. Yesterday we have discussed. The Ministry of Environment is saying that Indian coal has less amount of the release of sulfur dioxide. This is what they say. Okay. So that is the point. So this was introduced in the 2015, originally mandated in the 2015 to curb the SO2 emissions. Only 8% of the Indian companies or 180 coal plants compiled due to the high cost. So 2.5 lakh crore in total. Yesterday I have told you. So it costs very huge. So total cost, if they implement it is a 2.54 lakh crore. It is very huge. Okay, Indian power sector will become very, very costly. Now only 22% in pollutants okay, they have given the freedom for 78 coal companies. They need not impose. Only in the areas where there is a heavy concentration of the population, in those areas they have not given the exemption. Rest of the areas they have given the exemption. So they are also saying India's coal has a low sulfur content. Only when we import the coal, only then in that cases we may face the problem of this sulfur dioxide. Okay. So what is this FGD technology, flue gas desulfurization technology, that I have provided here? Now see what kind of implications this kind of question can be asked in the mains in the GS3 environment. So India has recently liberalized the norms of flue gas desulfurization technology. In this context, discuss the impacts of this policy. They will ask this thing. So you will mention in the introduction what was this flue gas desulfurization technology, what was the recent policy move taken by the Indian government, and then you will talk about the analysis. So whenever we talk about the impacts, there will be both positive impacts as well as negative impacts. Okay, so you will talk about the both the things. So this will reduce the cost of production of energy for India. Okay, so this can also reduce the burden for the Indian government. So this can save a lot of money for us Indians. But on the other scale, so this might affect our global targets. So whatever the global targets that we have, global commitments we have in order to reduce the pollution, climate change, all these things, this might affect us. Okay, it may also affect our population. So because sulfur dioxide is a pollutant, this is also playing the role in the acid rain. When inhaled, this can cause breathing problems, toxicity. This can also lead to the formation of the PM 2.5 materials. Okay, they are very, very minute particles. Then this can cause breathing related problems and toxicity in our body. Okay, so these are the points that I'll mention about. See here, avoiding 2.5 lakh crore. So it will reduce the cost. So according to the Ministry of Environment, it will save the 2.5 lakh crore. Same thing, the money they have mentioned in the article, the same point I have used. Okay, and see here, alignment with the local condition. See here how the point I have used. Okay, so our Indian coal has a low amount of the sulfur content. So that's why it is suitable for our local needs. This is how I am generating the points there itself. Economic relief for the power sector, and also this will also benefit the common man. If the prices is high, okay, we will not be able to afford the power sector. So this can also support the common man's growth. So 4 points we are able to generate. Our economy will be supported when we have the proper availability of power. Are we clear so far? Okay. So now what are the impacts? See here, impacts. See, release of higher amount of SO2. Now this can also, see here, SO2 contributes to the acid rain, which can damage the crops, forest and the water bodies. See, sometimes when I see evaluate the students' answers, they will directly write this thing. Release of SO2 can damage crops, forest and the water bodies. Instead of writing that point, this contributes to the acid rain, which can damage the crops. Now this is giving me analysis, just half a word extra. I am mentioning about the acid rain, which is causing the crop damage. If I directly mention, okay, this is causing crop damage and all, it is not clear how it is causing the crop damage. But adding this word will enhance the value. Lot of difference it will make. Generally, when I get the student's answer, when I see this kind of explanation, if for the 10 marks, if I award 4.5 marks, for the other students, I'll award only 3 marks. Because your answer is incomplete. You are not giving me clarity how it is going to happen. So whenever you explain some impact, you should also explain how. Okay. Critics argue this can also affect our India's clean air program. Some other day we will also do this about the clean air program. This can also affect our credibility and long term. See, this sulfur dioxide generally even during the volcanic emissions, the sulfur dioxide will be released, and they basically reduce the insolation, sunlight that is coming from the sun. Okay, they will block the sunrise. Basically, it will reduce the warming. Basically, it plays a role in the cooling effect. So when you change this thing, so when you impact this thing, so again there can be changes in the warming and as well as the cooling effect. So now this can be also another problem that might affect. See, while SO2 has cooling effect, reducing control might indirectly accelerate the warming, clashing with India's net zero by 2070 pledge. Overall, the move prioritize the short-term economics. So that is what they are talking about. Now this is the most important thing. So you have international convention on the long range transboundary air pollution. Very important. See, we release some kind of pollutant. SO2 is a primarily pollutant. I have released the pollutant. It will not stay in India itself. They have the potential to travel in the air, in the atmosphere. So they can travel even the different continents. From here, they can even reach to the Europe also. So that's why there is a international commitment to check the transboundary movement of the air pollution. This is a convention. Convention means broader framework. They are providing it to you so that you implement some provisions. When according to that convention, you make some kind of legal law, then it becomes a protocol. Under the convention, you have the protocol. Okay. So this is a convention. UNECE convention on the long range transboundary air pollution. So from that, the byproducts, their babies are this thing: Helsinki Protocol, Oslo Protocol, Gothenburg Protocol. All these are to control the primarily for the controlling of the SO2. By heart, these three they can ask in the prelims because SO2 is in the news. And here one more important aspect is India is signatory, not a signatory to any of these things. India has not signed anything. Okay. However, India adheres to the global norms. So are we clear? So if I ask you what is the Helsinki Protocol, Oslo Protocol, Gothenburg Protocol, will you be able to answer? Okay, it is related to the SO2 release. Okay, India has not signed all those things. This is what, and also here there is IMO Marpol Convention as well regarding this thing. See here SO2 as a pollutant. I have given you regarding that also. So they are just for your clarity. Okay, they may ask, but I don't think they will ask in the UPSC impacts of the SO2, that level of question, but in the state exams they will ask. See here acid rain formation, they have asked once. How the acid rain is formed. Okay, particulate matter formation, which we have seen already multiple times. Then health effects, short-term exposure, irritate eyes. So sometimes when you might be riding without any kind of helmet, you might have guys have experienced burning of eyes, sensation, all these things because of these pollutants. Okay, throats and lungs will be affected. Environmental damage. Okay, contributes to the smog, eutrophication, all these things. Okay, this is a short-lived pollutant. Now see here. Try to solve this question. Not that easy, okay, but still give it a try. This is how they have asked in the 2020. So not sulfur dioxide, okay. Basically, they do not get confused with it. Okay, ash. So in one of the statements, they have mentioned about the sulfur dioxide. Coal ash contains the arsenic, lead, and the mercury. High ash content is observed in the Indian coal. Coal-fired power plants releases the sulfur dioxide and oxides of the nitrogen into the environment. So here, okay. So generally, usually, okay, you can take a guess because of the burning up of the coal. You need to think: is there a possibility of release of such toxic elements here? So you may think mercury, is it possible? Okay, you may get the doubt. Okay? So you need to think broad guess. So first, now when we solve these PYQs, now you get the clarity. Once you see the answer, okay. So these would be the gases that can be released. Okay, so from here the learning is also happening. Now whatever the content that you have learned is about the sulfur dioxide. Further, value enrichment is happening through the PYQs. So question will be on those lines. So you will get much more clarity. Okay, so any guess? Try. Okay, someone is saying only one. Okay, only one. Why? Okay, why not? This one. Okay. So someone is saying all three. Someone is saying only one. Okay, check it. It is all three. So coal plants are major SO2 emitters linking to this thing. So you can see here. So coal ash contains the highest amount of the mercury and lead as well. And you will also realize the ash content Okay, high ash content is observed in the Indian coal. Generally, in the Indian coal, so it is not that qualitative coal. Coal is a sedimentary rock. Whatever the organic material, like say vegetation and all, when they get submerged and they stay there for longer duration, greater the duration they stay there, greater the rock stability and greater the quality. Generally, Indian coal is considered to be not that quality coal. Gondwana coal, we'll say. Okay, Gondwana is a time period of evolution. More than that, there was a higher evolution called the carboniferous coal, which is a high quality coal. In India, we generally don't find such a high quality coal. Just so because of this thing, whenever you burn the coal, more ash will be released. Lack of that quality. So now see, we got the value addition. So now we have understood about the coal also. So Indian coal is slightly less quality coal. Okay. Again, coal as a whole topic, we will do it later on. Okay. Okay. There are different types of the coal quality, anthracite, bituminous, what are the types that are available in India. That we will see some other time when we see the distribution of the coal. Now this much is clear. So I'm helping you to understand how the questions can be asked in the current affairs. So we are trying to go one step beyond, not just trying to stick to the articles. See here, this was the question 2020 and now this is in the 2020. Now this is a slight difficult question. Okay, so they are talking about the furnace oil. Answer is displayed. Okay. So, okay, this is not working somehow. Okay. So basically furnace oil means, so from here we will try to study about the furnace oil. So basically the residue, the hard residue. So you will take the crude oil. From that crude oil, you will refine, you will do the filtration process, and from there we will extract the petroleum, all those kerosene and all. Okay. So that is called as a furnace oil. So see, this is the same thing. When we are aware of this thing, so we will understand it is a product of the oil refineries. Some industries use it to generate the power and some it causes a sulfur emission to the environment. So when we are clear what the furnace oil is, so we will be able to understand the concepts related to that thing. Okay. So for now, since we have not discussed, again, maybe that time it must be in the news and all, but still using the PYQs to understand what is the concept of the furnace oil. Okay. So I have tried to add it here. See here, a dark viscous residual fuel oil obtained as a byproduct from the distillation of the crude oil. So from the crude oil, whatever the after doing the refining, you have taken up, extracted the crude oil, so you will get the some of the byproducts from it, petroleum, all those things which are. So the leftover oil is the furnace oil. Okay, so that is also very toxic. Primarily consists of hydrocarbons. It is a bottom residue. Okay, are extracted during the petroleum refining, fuel for the industrial boilers, furnace ships and all. So it is also having the chemicals in it. Environmental, the highest amount of those chemicals, all those things will be present here. In the same way, they have asked about the copper smelting points. Again, this is also very difficult. See, this is how they have asked. Copper smelting plants means how by feeding the raw material from where you are extracting the copper. This is how they have asked. These are the questions from the environment as well as the current affairs. Okay, these are the questions that are basically difficult on the difficult level. Okay, so whichever. If these kind of questions you make it wrong, it is not that problematic. But if the easy questions you make it wrong, then it is a problematic. Again, even in these questions, you will be able to take the guess. When you have the good conceptual clarity, you will be able to take the intelligent guess. You need not leave these things. Anyway, easy questions you have solved them. You have made it right. You will get the confidence. So you will take guess. It may go wrong, it may go right. It will not affect your score that much. You will be able to take guess in a confident manner. See, they may release little quantities. So you can think of just like your coal thermal plants. These are the kind of copper smelting plants. How copper is extracted from the raw materials. They may release little quantities of the carbon monoxide. The copper slag can cause a leaching of some heavy metals in the environment. They may release the sulfur dioxide as a pollutant. So they may, they can, they may. It is saying. So possibilities. The option is not extreme. The option they are saying there is a possibility. There is a possibility. So what kind of guess we can take? So when there is a, they are using, in some cases it may happen kind of thing. So usually when I take the guess, so I will go for all kind of thing, unless if there is any kind of thing which we get to know from the answers, then it will kind of add value. See here. Now from this kind, now they may release the carbon monoxide. That is a value added thing here. So they have given carbon monoxide is not extracted from this. So that's a value addition for you. So you need not worry about that things that will go wrong. Okay, so I have given you what is this copper smelting plant and all. You may go through that. Okay, is this clear? Helping you adding the PYQs and all? Okay, so we will do like this on daily basis. If you revise, if you study well, okay, so we will keep doing in this way. You can imagine what will happen every day, one step, one step, one step. You are doing it for 8-9 months till the prelims time. You can imagine how much knowledge you would have gained by then. Okay, so I always believe in that, taking one small step at a time, being consistent. Okay. See now, locus forming and the new control method. See, these locus are a kind of insects. Okay, those things, pests, which can damage the crops. They cannot damage alone. They will form a group, gang, and they will attack the crop. How they will form a gang? After eating, they will release the chemicals, hormones, which we call as a pheromones. They will release that hormones. So now, using the genetic engineering technology, we are making changes in the genetic structure so that they don't release that hormone and form a group. That's it. We are not killing them. They are not able to form that gang. As simple as that. So again, we have got the point here. How naturally we can reduce the impact of the pests on the crops, and how we can increase the cropping yield. So I can use this thing in the genetic engineering, in the science and technology. I can use this thing in the agriculture. How we can focus on enhancing the agriculture productivity of India. So I can use this thing, the role of genetic engineering. Already we have seen the role of genetic engineering in agriculture, where we have discussed about the various types of the salt tolerant crop, drought tolerant crops. Okay, where we use efficient ways of agriculture. We have seen this thing previously. That yesterday also, Japonica rice we have discussed once, and then we have discussed about that what is that rice variety of the Kerala, Pokali rice. This is again natural thing, not GE related. So here again we are talking about this thing, how using the GE we can reduce the impact of the pests, right? So this is the essence of the article. That's it. We don't have to by heart or memorize. So when many students are struggling, how do we remember or recall or revise? Now from this you have understood the essence. What is the gene they are trying to suppress? That's it. You need to understand 1 or 2 points. That's all. You don't have to memorize all the content. So that's how you will reduce the impact, burden of the content on yourself. So that is the thing. So just see, what kind of thing they are trying to stop. Okay, stopping the 4VA production. Okay, that is the point they are talking about. Okay, now again it has to be implemented here. Okay, now this is July 15 is considered as a World Youth Skills Day. So like I have told you, skills are the most important. Higher the skills you have, better will be your employability skills. No one will be able to counter you. So improve your skills. Just work on your skills. This is what they are talking about. Now here they are also giving us additional insights. See here, there is a big puzzle. 43% of the science, technology, engineering and math graduates are the women, but only 27% of the jobs are given to them. So again here there is a paradox. Women almost 43%, but not everyone is present. That's what yesterday I have discussed. They have some social roles also, care related responsibilities. They are taking care of the family, like taking care of the household things and all. So maternity leave, all those things. So it is saying, the article is saying that care should be provided. They should be provided skill. They should be provided support, so that they come back in the economy when they are needed. It is if they leave you. Okay, if it is like a not just loss to the women, it is a loss for the entire nation, because they have the knowledge. If some skill is provided, they will be able to contribute. So it is a collective effort. Collective support is required. That is what the article says here. See, female labor force participation rate has improved 41% and all. Okay, that is what, adding 68 million more women workers could add 700 billion to the Indian GDP by 2025. Can you see here? This is the data. I'll remember this. I can, because we have seen so many articles coming on the same thing related to women. So why women has to be introduced in the economy and all? Generally on the social dimension, we can talk about the inclusive growth and all. So for some people, when we don't say in terms of the numbers, economy, they'll not understand. So for that purpose, we also remember the facts. We have to show them that vested interest. It is not just for the women. Look, bro, you will also grow. Okay, this is how you have to answer both from the rationality point of view also. It is not for you are not doing any kind of good for the other. This is for your own good. This is the argument that will provide. Okay, so you have a topic of persuasion in the GS4. Persuasion means rational and emotional appeal to do something. So I am persuading you to study. Rationally, I am saying how it becomes easy. Emotionally, I am saying you can do. So both of the things, rational, emotional. When you change something, when you are persuading some people in the administration to do something, so you will say, see here, this is why it is important for everyone. Clear? So what initiatives government is doing and all, they are given. See here, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Again, the same things are being repeated. New education policy, they are talking about repeating the same thing. Mentoring program, partnership is required. Okay, so generally why the woman is being left out? So apart from the double burden, remember the keyword double burden. So they are working outside, they are working at the home also. There is a double burden. Apart from this, lack of family support, unsafe offices, okay, like harassment at the work, unequal pay, all these are the life events, all these are the causes. Remember, by heart these causes. I will ask you, what are the causes? Why the employment levels of the women is low? Why the labor force participation rate of the women is low? So you will give these reasons. Totally 6-7 reasons are there here. By heart it. Next time I will ask you, you should be in a position to answer me. Okay. So what kind of solutions? This is the solutions. UN Women's VSTEM program with the Madhya Pradesh government. They are training the women. This is the important aspect that should be happened from. Dowry related deaths. That's what I said. See here. See, according to the National Crime Reports Bureau. Okay. See here, we think there is a growth. The woman is happening and all. On an average, 7,000 dowry deaths in a year. Surprising. Okay. So we think on one front, the woman is growing, woman is empowered, they are doing this thing and all that. Then you imagine 7,000 deaths that are happening related to the dowry, especially in the Punjab, Haryana regions. So those things are happening, and these dowry related deaths are stuck at various phases. The article says investigation is also not going on properly. After some time period of the investigation, the cases will get closed. Sometimes women will also not report. Again, honor. I told you, woman is considered as a honor. Okay, so even the family, girl's parents may not also support. Okay, adjust it. Lack of family support. This is the point. Okay, so it is there. It is there in the psyche of the many people. Okay, I told you, woman is an enemy to the woman. Okay, so that is the concept is called twisted sisterhood. Sisterhood itself is twisted. Okay, there is no support. This is true. There is no support from the woman through women. Okay, so woman herself is not supporting a woman. That is very important. If there is a family support, these things will not happen. The many people are getting killed. Okay, so that should not happen. And there should be very strong case. Like I said, things from our generation has to change. No dowries. Okay, so people, boys will say, okay, when we say no dowries and all, okay, there are demands from the woman. Okay, they are asking our finances, our jobs, our assets and all. Don't marry such women. Okay, who does not have self-respect? We can be clear, boys can be clear, okay, no dowries, and they can also be clear. Okay, no, when we say equality, it should be all the friends. When you think, okay, this is only one way, don't marry. Okay, so that way, we can impose. So that's how we have to make the change from our generation. Okay, so there should be proper cohabitation, proper mutual understanding, change of breaking up of those norms and all, societal norms, those barriers should be there. We should take the stand. If it is wrong, if it is right or whatever it is, we should be able to take a stand, even if it is our loved ones. So it does not mean we are disrespecting them. We are taking the stand. Okay, so accordingly they will also change. Okay, this guy, okay, they will not mold, they will not listen to us in these aspects. Okay, accordingly they will also change when they talk to you. Okay, so the stand we need to take. Support should be there. So these things we can change. See here, 7,000 according to whenever I say some data and the fact, I should substantiate who is saying this thing. National Crime Records Bureau. So I have given you the prime causes, the social thing again. Reasons for dowry, again the same thing. Okay, seen as a gift to groom's family for the bride's upkeep, rooted in the patriarchy, where daughters are viewed as a burdens. Previously, then women does not used to, okay, kind of there is. Now things have been changed. Okay, so the thing, economic greed of wealth and status, gender equality, low women's empowerment, family pressure. So various topics here, how many things we are learning about the concepts of the woman, gender disparity and all we are trying to learn. So how this thing, Dowry Prohibition Act is there. Again, here I have seen various cases how this Dowry Prohibition Act is misused. I have seen in my close ones, loved ones also, this act is getting misused. So in one of the cases, Supreme Court has given the judgment. So don't do the immediate arrest. See, false cases are rising under the section 498A. The false cases are rising. So government, Supreme Court has given once a judgment. I think I have missed out. Rajesh Sharma versus State of the UP in the 2017. Supreme Court said there should be some family welfare committees. They should check whether the harassment case kept by the woman is true or not. But this is like dilution of the provisions. Somehow they have trying to find whether the case they are trying to impose is true or not. Some initial verification is being conducted and then only they are going to proceed. Okay, so these three judgments are important. So you need to give that counter argument also, some issues is happening. And then finally, like I always say, some issues always, we have to find a way for the checking the misuse. Again, misuse cannot be the solution to dilute the act itself, because 7,000 deaths are happening. See, this is the status in the remote areas situation of the women. Okay, go through this thing. All the three judgments you have to by heart, and section 498A dowry you have to remember. And another small article, okay, they are talking about development of the deep sea port at the Machilipatnam. So whenever you develop the ports, nearby area, coastal development, jobs creation will happen. So all those areas, economy and everything will be developed. So they are trying to develop the Machilipatnam port. Greenfield means completely new. Brownfield means it is a kind of old one. Okay. And they are talking about the Indo-European relationships. So see, like I have told you, USA is withdrawing. So European partners, Canada, they are looking for the new partners. Now this is an opportunity for the India. Both of them are democratic countries. Okay, both of them have the win-win situation. So they cannot rely on the US. So that's why these are the opportunities we can see here to balance the China. So we have expanded India-EU talks on the trade, technologies, security and the climate. Deeper ties with the France, Germany, Italy and the Eastern European nations. So on the bilateral ties also, see here, investment has grown significantly. EU FDI in India increased up to 70%. French investment increased by 373%. So I will use this data to substantiate my content. I am showing here. Potential remains untapped. So still free trade agreements are yet to be signed by between the India and EU. See here, economic opportunities. We are also thinking of signing the IMEC corridor. We have seen this thing, IMEC corridor as well. We have discussed that thing. Okay, then we are also cooperating on the technology and innovation frontier. Strategic and defense cooperation also, we are also working on this thing. European supplies arms to India. Co-development and technology transfer under self-reliant initiatives like Atma Bharat and the Europe's REARM. So all those things. So I have given some base as well. India-Europe relationships. What is the institutional context? So what kind of economic ties are there? See here, economic ties. EU is India's largest trading partner. Nearly $120 billion trade is we are trading with them. In terms of the FDI also, we have seen major investments from the France and Germany, and we also have the various agreements with them. Investment protection agreement. There are challenges related to the measure like data privacy, CBAM. We have discussed this thing. Carbon border adjustment mechanism. They are imposing carbon tax on our products. Okay, they are putting restrictions on our products. Okay, these are the certain things. Okay, so here defense related Rafale jets. 4.5 generation aircrafts we have seen. Germany joint extra things, counter-terrorism, and then challenges I have mentioned. Economic asymmetry, these are the challenges. Their technology is more advanced. Brexit impact, geopolitical differences, Europe's Russia-Ukraine stance, India's neutrality stand, trade barriers, EU's non-tariff barriers like labor standards, environmental standards, and India's protectionism. Clear? So we are doing very comprehensively. IR is getting the protectionism is imposition of the taxes. We are not allowing the other companies to enter. Okay, like if India is exporting our goods, they are imposing the taxes. Like USA has imposed high taxes on Indian steel. That is called the protectionist measures. It is opposite to the globalization. Globalization means we are reducing the taxes, which is supported by the WTO. When the reverse of it is protectionism. Okay. So environment, everything we are trying to cover, revise. Okay, so I will do it in the every day in the same manner. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.